right, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. In this video here, I'm simply going over Michael Jordan's career. To any people that don't know this stuff, this is in-depth. Feats, records, accomplishments, every single season of Michael Jordan's career. You find me any other player that something remarkable he did that year, some kind of a record, some kind of a feat, something. You just pull out somebody's random year, and I bet there's no player that has every single year something remarkable happened. Like, for example, Larry Bird, 1983. Show me something remarkable he did that year. And maybe he did. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. Nothing stands out about it. I couldn't even tell you. How about LeBron James in 2011? What did he do that was remarkable? Individually or team-wise? That's either something we've never seen before or some kind of a feat, a record, something. That's what I'm talking about. It could be anybody. How about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1979? Did he do something remarkable? Something we've never seen before? A feat, a record? What do you got? Let me know. Michael Jordan's rookie season in 1984-85. Now, obviously, he won Rookie of the Year, so that's nothing special right there. But he led the NBA in points scored as a rookie with 2,313 points. I looked up as many stars as I could, and he was the only player that I've ever known of who led his team in all 5 major stat categories among the starters. There was a bench player, Jawan Oldham, that had more blocks than he did per game. But as far as the starters go, he owned all of it. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks per game. He led the entire team. And that should show you right there what kind of a team he was actually dealing with. 1985-86 season. Jordan missed 3/4 of the year. He started 7 games. What could he do? Well, in the playoffs, he set the single game scoring record of 63 points against a team that was 50-1 at home on their home floor. And that was the closest anyone got to beating Boston after Portland beat them. I think it was like the 10th game of the year, something like that. 10th home game, I think it was. After that, no team had pushed Boston to a double overtime. They were the closest to beating them. Including the playoffs, Michael Jordan only started 10 games, and he was even on a minutes restriction in most of those. To be able to set a record in just that little small window, again, it's amazing stuff. 1986-1987. This is Michael Jordan's only second full season where he was eligible for awards, All-NBA, all that kind of stuff. And this guy went out and had the most points per game since the merger. Still to this day, I can't believe nobody's beat this yet, as lax as the defense is and the offensive explosion going on. 37.1 points per game. That's the best since the merger, bar none. That's insane. You could even throw the ABA in there and go back to like the 70s. It'll be covered under this. And also, even though there's a dispute, I'll bring it up anyway. Michael Jordan was the first player to record 200 steals and 100 blocks in the same season. Like I said, they didn't start recording steals and blocks until the very early 70s, so it wasn't that many seasons that went on. But as it stands, it's only been done 4 times. 1987, 1988. Michael Jordan was the first player to win the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Also, the only player since 1964, which would be Wilt Chamberlain, to average 35 points per game or more in consecutive seasons. And then he would also be the only player to record 200 steals and 100 blocks in consecutive seasons. He's the only guy.
I'd like to congratulate you on winning the 1988 Edge NBA Most Valuable Player Award. In just your 4th season, you've established yourself as an intimidating force on both ends of the court, leading the Chicago Bulls to a 50-32 record, their best in 14 years. Michael, nobody does it better. Congratulations to you from Edge and from your fans all over the country.
1988, 1989. Now, obviously, I could go on with the scoring title stuff, with the all defense, because not many people have done this. I think it was only Kobe and Jerry West ever. So he was the first person to do it multiple times in 1989. But besides that, something remarkable that Michael Jordan or his team did, in 1989, the Bulls, being the 6th seed in the East, the 5th place team in their division, they won 9 playoff games. That's the most ever from a 5th place team in a division. I checked every year, and this is the most. 9 wins, 3 against Cleveland, 4 against the Knicks, 2 against the Pistons. 9 wins is the most ever from a 5th place team in a division, because his division was so stacked with Cleveland, the number 1 net rated team, Detroit, the best record in the NBA and world champions. The Atlanta Hawks think they won 52 games, and Milwaukee won 49 games. How'd you like to play in a division where the 4th place team won 49 games? Yeah, it was like that. And the Bulls were the 5th place team, and still they managed to win 9 playoff games? Come on, man. Just knock it off with all the anti-Jordan rhetoric. Give me a break. He did so many things that nobody's ever done before or since, and I'm going to give them to you. And this isn't even all of it. I'm just going to give you the things that I think are important that aren't really talked about as much. Everybody knows about the scoring titles with the MVPs and the first team all defense, some kind of combination of all that stuff. Sure, you could go every year with that. The MVP with the finals MVP, you could do that in so many seasons. But I'm just talking about the other stuff. Here's one right here, 1989-1990. He became one of 6 players to lead the league in 2 of the 5 major stat categories multiple times. The 6 players were Wilt Chamberlain, Chris Paul, John Stockton, Dwight Howard, Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan. There's only 6 players that have done that multiple times. And he did that in 1990. He's also the only player since the merger to win 4 consecutive scoring titles after the 1990 season. 1990-91. Now, obviously, he just keeps adding to the record about now he's got 5 consecutive scoring titles, the most since the merger, or the most since 1964, the last 60 years. But besides that, records in the finals. This is the real separator for me. The most steals in a 5-game finals, 14. Michael Jordan still holds this record. It's 34 years old now. The most assists per game in a player's debut finals, 11.4. That was crazy. In fact, that's the most assists per game in any finals, period, that wasn't Magic Johnson. That's amazing. And also this right here.
Found Jordan open. Here's Michael. There's Jordan over Scott to get others involved. Now Michael looking to break out. Michael Jordan. Yes. 6 of 8 here in the 3rd. Jordan with the step and the bucket.
In the last 6 or 7 minutes of play.
Jordan over Scott. Yes. And packs into the backcourt. Here's Jordan. Yes. And it counts. The one loss in the series for the Sixers. Jordan again. Michael Jordan. Yes. And here's Jordan going for 12. He's got it. 12 straight field goals from Michael Jordan. Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. That's 13 consecutive field goals.
That was the most consecutive field goals made in a finals game, 13. Still stands to this day. All these records still stand to this day. Otherwise, I wouldn't even mention it. Like in 92, where he hit the 6 threes in a row. That's since been broken. I think Mike Miller broke it with 7 in like 2012, I think it was. But not worth mentioning. 1991-92. The most assists in a player's first 10 finals games. This is more of a feat than like a record, but it is a record. I looked this up myself. I didn't look in some basketball almanac or whatever. A lot of this stuff I stumbled across, or I was curious if a certain stat looked unusual to me. I measured it against everybody else that I could find. The most assists of any player who's ever played in the NBA in their first 10 finals games, Michael Jordan has 92. That's the most. John Stockton has 88. That was the second most. Bob Cousy, 87. That's the third most. But as you can see, Michael Jordan had the most. And that wasn't just one finals. That carried over 5 games into the 92 finals. So this was 2 different finals that made this record. That's pretty impressive. And still to this day, Game 1 of the 92 finals, the most points in a finals half, 35. Still a record to this day. 1993, that was a pretty busy season for Jordan. Even though he didn't win MVP that year, tied Wilt Chamberlain for the most scoring titles of all time with 7. He became one of only 3 players to lead the league in 2 of the 5 major stat categories 3 times or more. Wilt Chamberlain, Chris Paul, Michael Jordan, that's the list. Most consecutive 40-plus point finals games, 4 of them, and the first three-peat in 25 years, 91, 92, 93. And also about the leading the league in multiple stat categories, he was the first player and the only one since 1977 to lead the league in multiple stat categories and win a championship. Bill Walton did it the first year after the merger, 1977. No one has done it in the last 48 seasons except for one guy in 1993, Michael Jordan. That's the only guy who's been able to pull that off. And there have been guys that have led the league in multiple stat categories. Dwight Howard, Ben Wallace, Chris Paul. There's been several. Keem Olajuwon, David Robinson, all these guys. But nobody's ever been able to win a championship while doing it. Special. 1994, 1995. Michael Jordan is the only player, because I looked up every year, to finish in the top 12 for MVP playing less than 20 games. That's the only player I saw that did that. Only him. And I looked up everybody. And the other thing is, Michael Jordan became one of 6 top 75 players to win 3 straight road series. That would be the 93 Knicks, the 93 Suns, and the 95 Hornets. The other ones were, I believe it was Russell, Sam Jones, John Havlicek, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Clyde Drexler. I'm pretty sure that's all it is. Now, Luka Doncic in Dallas actually did that last year as the 5 seed. They did win 3 straight. And assuming Doncic becomes a top 100 player, then he would be on that list too. 1996. This was a big one. Michael Jordan now owns the most scoring titles of all time with 8. The best winning percentage all time, regular season and playoffs combined, .870. They won 87% of their games that season. That's the most of all time. 1996, 1997. Michael Jordan, the most finals MVPs of all time because he got his 5th one, and no one has got 5. I think LeBron James has 4. Magic Johnson's got 3. There's people that have, Shaq's got 3. There's 3 and 4s, but it didn't come out till 1969. So to be fair, players like George Mikan and Bill Russell didn't even have a shot at it, or else you know they would have. No question about it. The best consecutive season winning percentage of all time, regular season and playoffs, at .8507. So 85.07% of their games they won in 96 and 97 seasons combined. That's remarkable. And also, after the 96 season, after Game 3 of the finals, they had won 15 out of 19 finals games. No team or player has ever done that in NBA history. And they also won 9 of 10 road finals games. No player or team has ever done that to this day. That would have been the 3 games in 91, 2 out of 3 against Portland in 92, all 3 in Phoenix 93, And then the game 3 at Seattle in 96 gives you 9 out of 10. No team or player has ever done that. 1998, Jordan and Pippen are the only, let's call it top 75 players, really just players, are the only players to win 3+ titles in a row twice. It's never been done. Boston won 8 in a row. Yes, 8 in a row is more impressive than 2 three-peats. I'm not going to argue that. 11 out of 13 is more impressive. 9 out of 10 is more impressive. Still, Boston had an 8 championship winning streak, a 2 championship winning streak, and then a single championship. That made up the 11 that Russell won. But 3 in a row, 2 separate times. The Minneapolis Lakers have a three-peat in the 50s. Then you have Boston with their 8 in a row. You have Shaq and Kobe's three-peat. Those 3 are 3 and more, but they're 3 separate decades. But the Bulls in the 90s did 2. No team or player have ever done that except for Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They're the only ones who have a part of that. Jordan now would own the most finals MVP of all time with 6, the most scoring titles all time with 10, tied for the most all defenses first team with 9. I mean, all that stuff, all the career stuff comes into it now. Most points per game in the playoffs, yada, yada. You could go all day with the career stuff. But I'm just doing the single season. Every year he did something remarkable, some kind of feat, whatever. 2001, 2002, Michael Jordan was the highest vote getter for a 39-year-old or older until LeBron James just got 6th for MVP this last year. So now LeBron has that. But 01-02, Michael Jordan is the oldest player to score 50 or more points, 51 to be exact. He was 38 years, 315 days old. That's the oldest. And then in 2002-2003 season, Michael Jordan is the oldest player to play all 82 games, and that was in his age 39 to age 40 season. Now, you've heard all of it. Go fact check it and go compare it to anybody you want. And you tell me if somebody has a resume like that, where every single year they did something. Now, I get it. Some of the years like 95, 02, 03, yeah, a little flimsy, whatever. Every year it's, Michael Jordan had the most seasons of MVP, scoring title, first team all defenses. He's got 5 of them. Include a finals MVP in there. Another 5. You could do that stuff all day because he's got it. He's got 9 seasons of being first team all defense and the scoring champion. You could do that all day with this stuff. I mean, it's insane what his resume and his career is. That's why when somebody tries to compare it, team-wise, it's not close. It's Bill Russell and it's Michael Jordan as far as the best player. You want to start pulling in John Havlicek and Sam Jones and all that, fine. But ultimately, Russell was the best player because he won 5 MVPs. Obviously, the players voted him in for a reason. But the team stuff, the 72 wins, the 69 wins, that means they averaged 70.5 wins for consecutive seasons. Right there, nobody's touching that. All the winning, the 9 out of 10 road finals games, no one's ever done this stuff before. Now, unless you're convinced that somehow the Chicago Bulls, I just did a video on this just a few days ago, you're convinced that the Bulls had some super team that was the best ever, which it's not, because I went through a whole bunch of teams that had better rosters. It's not even close. And the 90s was the weakest era, which I just did a video yesterday showing you there's no way the 90s was the weakest era. In fact, it was one of the stronger ones. If that's not the case, then there's just nowhere to go other than to say Michael Jordan is just the best player of all time. Individual, with a team, yada, yada, that's it. And if Scottie Pippen was that good, why didn't he siphon at least one finals MVP away from Jordan? In fact, find me one series, period, where you think Scottie Pippen was the most valuable player on the Bulls. One series. Now, they played a lot of series together, all right? Jordan only played 3 without Pippen. So that's 34 playoff series they played together. Find me the one that you thought Scottie Pippen outplayed Michael Jordan, was just better and more valuable overall. There's your homework assignment. Let me know in the comments. So anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content. And that's it. Until next time.